You know what I did last night? I watched baseball right before going to bed. Meaningful baseball. You know what I did this morning? First thing, I checked the box scores. Remember checking the box scores? Meaningful baseball is back. World Baseball Classic is back. It's supposed to be every 4 years, every 6 years. Stupid pandemic. Preview show, prediction show, World Baseball Classic. All things World Baseball Classic right now. Let's go. All right, so before I go too much farther, I just need to say out loud, right at the forefront here, I'm an unapologetic World Baseball Classic super fan. I love this stuff. It's the first meaningful games every 4 years, this time every 6 years, right? Of the season. And is it the World Cup like soccer? No. Is it the Olympics? No. Baseball's a little different. Is it perfect? Definitely not. It would have to be more in depth. It would have to be 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7 for these countries to really get a full-on champion. But that kind of makes it fun, right? Like in a 3 out of 5 or a 4 out of 7 even playoff situation, the best team's not going to always win, which makes it fun, right? There's a chance. In a game, in a tournament like this, the winner and the two teams in the championship game, the winner and the runner-up, will only play 7 games. If you don't advance, you're only playing 4 games. That's nothing. 4 games is a weekend series. So anyone can win, which, does it make it fair? No. Does it make it fun? It sure does. Anybody can win. One more thing to share before I get to the preview of this year and my predictions. One of my favorite baseball memories, and I have a lot. I've gone to a lot of games in my life. I've got to see some neat events. The inaugural, the 2007 World Baseball Classic. I was there. I was standing on the railing looking down maybe 5 feet ahead above Roger freaking Clemens warm up for his start in the World Baseball Classic. I watched Griffey hit one of the longest home runs he ever hit. Maybe the longest one he ever hit. I actually got to talk to Griffey about that very thing a few years later at a Boys and Girls Club event. Not the topic of this video, but what a great memory. I got Mike Schmidt's autograph. He was actually an announcer for one of the regional games, first round games, whatever. Went to the games that first year at a minor league facility. It wasn't even that big yet. So I have fond memories of this. I hope the World Baseball Classic continues for years to come. Will there be some tweaks to it? I'm sure there will. Part of the lure of it is there some luck. Like you spend 4 years and then you play 4 games. Champions only get to play up to 7 games. Anybody can win this game. The favorite is not necessarily going to be the winner, which we've seen because, well, the USA has been bounced a few times. Anyway, let's get to this year. I'm excited. Let's get to the first pool. All right, let's start off with Pool A: Panama, Taiwan, Italy, Cuba, the Netherlands. So each pool is 5 teams, 2 teams advance. And this one, in my opinion at least, there's 3 teams that might advance. Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, not going anywhere. Panama, not going anywhere. But 3 teams have a chance for the 2 spots, again, in my opinion. So most people are taking Cuba and the Netherlands to advance here. Not me. I actually think Italy's going to sneak by. Am I using my head or my heart? I'm rooting for Italy. Italian American, love me some pizza, right? But I actually think it's going to happen. I don't think Cuba is as good as they used to be now. True. They've got a couple major leaguers on their team, a couple White Sox on their team. Moncada and who am I forgetting? Luis Robert Jr. now. Anyway, that's pretty good, right? But Cuba doesn't look to me as good as they used to be in the past. I like Italy. They got a pretty solid team, a bunch of major leaguers. I think 6. Don't quote me on that. The Netherlands has already beaten Cuba. That was the game that was on last night. That's the one of 2 finals so far. So I'm going to take the Netherlands and Italy to advance in this pool. Pool B is Japan and South Korea, and maybe 3 more teams. I guess we should talk about them too. Australia, China, Czechoslovakia. No, I don't think any of those 3 have any chance. So I guess you can figure out who I'm predicting. Japan, easy. South Korea, easy to advance from Pool B. Colombia, Canada, and Great Britain are the 3 teams that probably fall short in Pool C that has Mexico and us, the United States. Mexico is very good. Julio Urias might be the best pitcher Sandy Alcantara, certainly the best pitcher in this pool. I think that Mexico and the United States make it through, which is fun because I went to the Mexico-United States game back in 2007, but that's a whole nother story. USA and Mexico to advance out of Pool C, pretty likely. Colombia's pretty good, but that's probably going to happen. Now, Pool D is where we have 3 former semifinalists. They're not Israel and Nicaragua. And Israel and Nicaragua are probably not going to get to the next round because they are in this pool of power. So lots of people are picking the Dominican Republic to win it all, let alone this pool. So I will agree that they're going to win this pool. The real question becomes Puerto Rico or Venezuela? So the odds makers have Venezuela and Ronald Acuna over Lindor and Puerto Rico. I don't know. Again, all 3 teams, the Dominican, Venezuela, and Puerto Rico, they've all been to the semifinals before. This is the only pool that has 3 semifinalists from before in it. This is a tough one for me, but I think I'm going to lean Puerto Rico. So we have to talk about the Dominican Republic. Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Rafael Devers, probably the best pitcher in the tournament, Sandy Alcantara. The Dominican Republic has the ace of the tournament in Alcantara, and I just can't imagine how they don't run the table in the pool, even as good as Puerto Rico and Venezuela is. Now, that said, if Acuna goes crazy, and he can, seriously, he could run the table. He's that good that he could just... This tournament is so chock full of stars that if any one star on a team got hot, at least on the offensive side, it could take them to the championship. And as I've referenced before, there's 5 teams in the 4 pools. You got to advance to be one of the first 2 teams, and then it's one and done. Top 8 move on, top 4 in the semifinals, top 2 in the finals, and the tournament is then over. So would I be betting anything? No, there's too much variability in baseball. Even with the superstar-laden rosters, this is a crapshoot. Who am I picking? Well, that should be a whole nother video, but the pools are set, at least my predictions are set, and let's review now. In Pool D, like I just said, I'm going to take the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Venezuela could win the whole thing, though. Pool C, why I like Colombia, and I like Canada. For me, it's Mexico and the USA. Pool B, probably the easiest one to pick. South Korea and Japan advance. And going all the way back to Pool A where we started, Netherlands to win it, Italy to take second, Cuba to not make it, although most people are picking them. I actually think the Netherlands aren't as good as everyone else thinks, but I still think they win their pool. I mean, let's be real. You know, Simmons is good but older, Gregorius is good but older, Scope is good but older. Even Bogarts is probably, don't tell the Padre fans out there, it's probably not as good as he used to be. Was that my out loud voice? But I think they win this pool at least. And those will be the 8 teams that I have advancing. I will do another video on who I think will advance into the championship game and to the finals. And then I'll probably do another one to see how right I was, how wrong I was, and more importantly, make the choices again when we get to the knockout round. Anyway, are you watching the World Baseball Classic? Let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know who you think's going to win. Let me know what picks you liked of mine, what picks you didn't like. Not a lot of surprises in my picks. Italy, probably the biggest one. I guess Puerto Rico's a little bit of a surprise, but not that large of a surprise. Let me know in the comments who you're picking. Do you care about the World Baseball Classic? Thanks for watching. Have the best day ever. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.